another exciting episode of Kazi Big Boy Trev. I'm Big Boy Trev.
My name is Mirigi.
And today we are in the county of Mombasa, 001. And we are at the Associated Vehicle Assemblers Plant, I-10 Miritini, Mombasa. Just come to check out a few cars. But before we do that, first things first,
let's check out the highlights of today's show.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we tour AVA Vehicle Assembly Plant in Mombasa and get up close and personal with the intricate assembly process of different brands such as Mahindra and Proton. Finally, we review Hyundai Commercial's mighty 10-ton truck. We analyze its creature comforts, carrying capacity, engine performance, fuel efficiency, and of course, give you its value for money proposition. Catch this and much more only on Cars with Big Boy Trev every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on KTN Home.
AVA in full means Associated Vehicle Assemblers. AVA was started way back in 1975. We are located at the coastal region of Kenya. It's a fully owned company by Simba Corporation. As a contract assembly, we do assemble for different source manufacturers. We assemble for more than 10 different source manufacturers who have supplied us with more than 40 different models of vehicles. On full throttle, our production capacity is 30,000 units per annum, that is per year. But currently, we are only utilizing less than a third of our capacity. So we are projecting to produce more than 4,000 units only this year. AV is a contract assembler, and we do assemble for different source manufacturers. The first one being Toyota, where we assemble different models for Toyota, that is Toyota Hilux. We assemble Toyota Land Cruiser, that's Police Land Cruiser. We assemble Hino. We also assemble for Scania. Scania, we do assemble both trucks and buses. We also assemble for Simba Corporation, who are our main shareholders or our owners. We assemble different models for them. We assemble Fuso from India. We assemble Mitsubishi Fuso trucks from Japan. We also do assemble Mahindra pickups from India. And also recently we launched Proton, which are the first passenger cars that have been assembled in AVA for the last 25 years. Our main scope of work is assembling of vehicles. And in assembly we have different layout and different areas where we handle the parts. The first stage involves receiving of the kits and preparing them for assembly. And in the assembly line, we have different sections, starting with the trim area, where an empty cab shell is fitted with different components like seats, like the dashboard, the wing mirrors, and even the windscreen and other components. Then the next stage is the chassis line. And in the chassis line, we have wiring harnesses body wiring harnesses that are assembled. We also have the fuel lines that are assembled in the chassis line. And we also have the next stage, that is engine station, where engine is married to gearbox, the subframe, and also the suspensions. And then the final area, or the final line, where all the fluids are filled in the vehicle, like the fuel, the steering oil, and also the coolant. And that is the stage where also diagnosis is done to detect if there's any assembly error, and then the flashing of the error. And then finally we have the quality area, where all the quality parameters are tested, like check on the brake test, we check on the wheel alignment. We also do shower tests just to make sure that the vehicle finally conforms the standards of the source manufacturer. Skills enhancement is one of our key area of focus. In fact, we've set up a training school where we are able to develop the unique basic skills that are required for vehicle assembly. So we have a training school where we are able to train, nurture, and also develop these unique skills that helps us in day-to-day work in vehicle assembly. Right now we are just utilizing a third of our capacity. So that means that we have big capacity to expand. And one of the areas we are looking into is to support our existing customer base, try to encourage them to introduce more brands Right now, we just launched the Proton car, and we expect from Simba Corporation, and we are also expecting to support other customers also to venture into the same area. Another area that we are looking into is to, in line with the Big Four agenda, is support manufacturing by establishing facilities within AVA where we can also produce local contents that are used to support manufacturing. And to achieve all that, we require to look at use of clean energy. And one of the areas that we are looking at right now is to have a solar panel plant that we can be able to tap energy to assist us in our operation, because our operation involves consumption of energy.
So commercial vehicles play a big role in the Kenyan economy. This particular segment is the biggest in the new car market. It is estimated that 80% of new cars sold in Kenya are commercial vehicles. And it's a mixture of light commercial, medium and heavy. Well, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, it's all about medium commercial vehicles. And today we are sampling the brand new Hyundai EX9 that is assembled right here at Thika KVM in Kenya and is sold and serviced by DT Dobby. So where does this particular truck play? It plays in the category of the 10-ton truck. Who are the key rivals in this segment? Of course, you can't fail to mention the Isuzu FRR, the Hino FC500, and of course, the Mitsubishi FI that we reviewed previously on Cars with Big Boy Trev. But today, it's all about Hyundai. Hyundai is a big brand, global brand, and of course they have really tried to ensure that they are positioning themselves as the fourth biggest manufacturer of vehicles in their world. And their commercial division is actually quite big, and they're doing trucks, buses across the world. Right here at home, they have decided to bring in this brand new EX9. Well, I know trucks, people don't pay keen attention on the design of the trucks, but Hyundai have said, listen, you can't just build trucks like 20 years ago. You need style, sophistication, and of course, something that is pleasing to the eye. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the Hyundai Mighty looks amazing. Hyundai have tried to employ one of those great design ethos courtesy of Peter Schreier, who's the president of Hyundai company and is one of the best designers. He's worked with Volkswagen's different brands, Audi, Volkswagen, Seat, and now his skill and trade is now on all Hyundai products. And as you can see, it looks amazing. It looks very modern. Look at this trapezoidal headlamp. It's massive because one, you need to have clear field of vision at night. So these halogen headlamps with the reflector ensures that you have good field of vision. And of course, somebody can see quite far when you're driving this Mighty. And of course, as you can see with the Hyundai big trapezoidal grille with this massive H. And by the way, the H actually symbolizes two people greeting each other. This particular design looks very modern and it looks like it's very aerodynamic. And as you can see, the subtle design cues. Look at these lines. These lines are not too sharp and not too edgy, but it gives that sophistication that you normally see on Cars with Big Boy Trev. Look at the front bumper as well. It's detachable because there's a chassis here, but it doesn't look like it's overly done. It looks like it's actually designed for that aesthetic purposes. And of course, right here, it's quite stiff, just to ensure that when you're towing anything, it doesn't rip away the bumper. And of course, the ground clearance and the approach angle also has been taken into consideration. Now, as you can see, big windscreen to allow better field of vision. There are minimal blind spots in this particular car. And as you can see, you have very huge mirrors, so that you're able to see and have a look at the 360 of this particular car, which is very important because remember, when you're driving, you need to be safe on the road, and the driver needs to see all the angles. There are some trucks that you buy that have poor field of vision, they have blind spots, the mirrors are small, but that has been eliminated courtesy of this brand new Hyundai. When you move to the side again, you can see clear Hyundai design cues. Again, the window is just not square, it's trapezoidal. This design theme just makes it very look elegant, and of course you do have this rubber seal that runs across the window pane, again giving this car that je ne sais quoi. You have a Mighty sticker over here, and of course you know the model is the EX9 with this side repeater lamps. Again, je ne sais quoi styling, very important. Trucks do not necessarily need to be boring. Even this black cladding, as you can see again, just gives this car that neatness, and you can see there's some bulges on the door, on the fender. This actually gives this car that butch feel. It looks strong, it looks mighty. as the name suggests. And of course, this plastic door handle, again, it's not too small, but again, it just shows that Hyundai were actually taking time to design this particular truck to make it very responsive. And as you can see, even on this side, I mentioned about the large mirrors. Again, even the way the position is, the driver doesn't need to strain to see what is around the vehicle. The mirrors are concave, and of course, they're able to see even the wide. It's a wide angle mirror, both lower and upper mirrors. Now, as you can see, and we move over here, there's this air breather that I like. It's subtle and it's curved. It doesn't look like it's forced upon. It looks like it's still part of the design of the truck again. So moving over to the cargo area, you can actually customize the EX9 into different body styles. Like this is a closed cargo bay. It's closed so that you can carry stuff safely. You can actually have it as a refrigerator type of cargo body. You can actually have an open top to carry whatever cattle, livestock, whatever. You can even have it as a flatbed to carry even, if you're in the rescue services, you can actually use it as a flatbed to carry vehicles. And so many other applications that just make sense for you, the customer. You can customize it at any given time without any ease because, number one, the chassis has been hardened by high tensile strength courtesy of Hyundai steel. And of course, you do have brackets on the joints to ensure that these joints don't bend, but they are reinforced with rivets to ensure that the chassis remains rigid, and it's safe to carry up to 10 tons with ease. And at the back, as you can see, you do have standard 22.5 tires that comes as standard, tapered leaf springs, and of course you do have a battery. There are actually 2 batteries, and of course a toolbox to ensure that all your valuables are safe. They have actually a lock. At the back, you do have 2 taillights that comes as standard. It's nothing fancy, but it's high visibility, high reflector type of rear tail lamps that gives you ample information, especially to the people who are driving behind you. They can see if you're braking or turning or you're putting your car on reverse. And then you have this massive plate over here that is an extension of the chassis, just to ensure that the chassis remains hidden and safe in case of a rare accident, with a reflector, which comes as standard, by the way. But it's time to see how comfortable the cabin is. Will the driver enjoy the Hyundai EX9 Mighty on long haul? Is there space to carry his gadgets? Is he safe? And will he enjoy the ride of this EX9? Let's jump in and see what the EX9 cabin is all about.
So like Trevor has just taken you through, of course, now the walk around of this brand new Hyundai EX9. And I'm going to show you what it is to be inside the cabin. So I'm going to take you through the cabin step by step, because this is a car, of course, now where there's going to be a distinction between the owner and the operator. So I'm going to talk about now what happens from the operator point of view. As you know, of course, the people who drive these things have to have long hours on the road. So comfort, of course, ergonomics, very, very important. So I have to start, of course, with this seat. It's pretty comfortable, of course. And we sit very high, and then big windshield, big windows, loads of visibility, because these are the cars that are used for doing the last mile deliveries. When we say last mile, what you mean is from the warehouse until the shop, until the supermarket. These are the things that connect to make sure we have food on our table and we have stuff that we can buy. It's very important, of course. Now I would call these trucks in this 9-ton space the blood in the artery of our economy, because without these trucks in this 9-ton space, we wouldn't be able to get a lot done. So let's start from the left side over here. Of course, now we have the dashboard over here with just enough space for any documents that you need. As you know, of course, now when these guys are on the road, loads of documentation that needs to be carried, and there's space for that over here. We have another cubby hole over here, maybe to put your phone or something like that. And now more spaces, of course, inside here, under the radio over here, to put all the kind of stuff that you would need. It's very easy to put things around here if it's required. Of course, 2 seats over here. Kazi ya turn boy, mtu wa kusaidia. You'll also be very comfortable over here. There is some space, of course, behind the door here for a few things you need to keep outside of the public eye. And then you can come over here. There's a bit of a smoker's pack if that's something that is required. Although you have a choice of either doing this ashtray or a place to keep a drink over here. My phone is actually huku chini. Loads of space to put small things all over the place. Steering wheel is light, very big, very easy for you to put the wheel where you need it to be. Like I said, this, of course, is doing last mile. It's not always a big, wide tarmac road. Sometimes it will be kabarabara kabro hivi, maybe some maram, and then also sometimes the very tight roads on the way to that small shop that this place is going. So the EX9 has a 9-ton carrying capacity, of course, and it is incredibly flexible. You can put anybody that you want over here. You can put maybe refrigerated, you can have it flat. This can be used as a flatbed if you decide. It's very, very flexible, and it determines on you, on what you want to do with this vehicle, whether you want to put a corrugated iron body like this, whether you want to do fiberglass, whether you want to turn this into a tanker. It is all dependent on the work that you need to do. Time for us to take this on the road and let Trevor let you know how it feels in terms of power delivery, fuel efficiency, and general roadmanship.
So guys, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, it's all about commercial vehicles. Commercial vehicles that ferry stuff from point A to B, inter-county, intercity, and of course it's about efficiency. And today it's all about Hyundai EX9. This 10-ton truck, courtesy of Hyundai, is now assembled in Kenya and of course sold and serviced by DT Dobby. Question is, would it be able to upset the current leaders, the Isuzu FRR, and of course the Mitsubishi FI and Kino FC500? We're going to find out just now, and we start this review with the engine. So basically that's a 4-liter turbocharged diesel engine that produces 150 horsepower and 373 newton meters of torque. Now all that power is sent to the rear wheels courtesy of a 5-speed manual transmission with close ratios that allows you to flex the full potential of this 4-liter turbocharged engine. Another thing I like about this particular gearbox, it is able to harness that torque from as low as 1500 RPM. So you can haul 10 tons, and when you're taking off, it doesn't struggle to get off the line. And of course, you're able to drive it very, very comfortably. A lot has been said about Hyundai before, but I think it's a company to watch. They've invested millions of dollars in research and technology in Busan, South Korea, to ensure that the driving capability of this truck is up to par. The carrying capacity is good and the safety. So let's talk about the driving. I'm big boy, I'm comfortable, and of course, I'm able to drive this truck very easily without any stress because it has plenty of space. They've thought about ergonomics, the driver ergonomics, the comfort. The seats have very good form to ensure that you're able to drive long distance with this, because remember, these particular trucks are used for long distance. Also, handling, which is very important. Handling is so important because it ensures the safety of your goods and services. Now what Hyundai have done is basically use high tensile steel on the chassis to ensure that it is rigid, and of course using cross members across the cabin, across the front and rear loading areas to ensure that it is stiff and there are no breakages, and also reduces flex, meaning it is stable on the road. And one thing that I do like about that as well is the suspension. Up front you have a solid beam axle that is permitted to carry 3 tons, and of course at the rear, solid axle, again 6.6 tons, which brings you to a total of 10. Speaking of safety, it's a very critical aspect, especially when you're transporting goods from point A to B. You want to know that your goods are safe on the road. Basically, there's a service brake or an ECAM brake. Basically, it's a retarder exhaust that tries to slow down the vehicle using engine exhaust of the valves. And of course, you do have dual circuit brakes that ensures that if one circuit fails, you have a redundancy, keeping you and the driver safe while on the road, which is very, very important. But again, many times I normally say safety is so important. The active safety components include 3-point ELR seats, crumple zones, and of course the driver must be sane at any given time, so to ensure that. And there are minimal blind spots, huge mirrors, you can actually see no blind spots, and of course visibility is amazing, including sun visors that are important during sunny days, sunsets and sunrise. But the question still remains, how efficient is this engine? This 4-liter being turbocharged is able to do about 6 to 6.5 kilometers to the liter, and it has a 100-liter tank. So basically you can do up close to 400 or 500 kilometers with ease, meaning that This turbocharged engine is smaller in capacity, unlike the naturally aspirated old school ones that were doing 6-7 liters. Now this is a 4 liter, which basically means higher efficiency, more torque at low RPM, and of course driving comfort. Question is, can it outdo the Isuzu FRR or the Hino FC500 or even the Mitsubishi FI? Let's do value for money. So ladies and gentlemen, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we've sampled Hyundai's latest truck, the 10-ton mighty EX9, and I can tell you, I think it's going to give the competition a run for their money. It's powerful, it's spacious, it's comfortable, and it's safe. But Mr. Murig, what are your highlights about this truck? Do you reckon it's going to shake up the market?
Definitely it's going to shake things up. I think for the longest time, the king of the hill here has been the FI. Of course, the FH, of course, before the FI came in. This is a very competitive segment because, like we said, even when we did that review, this is all about that last mile connectivity. This is what connects each and every shop to each and every wholesale dealer. These are the cars that, in my opinion, the trucks that are the blood in the artery of our economy. So the thing now that's happening at the moment is that as a customer, you now have variety. Very wide range of trucks that are available. I think this is playing in that level now with the Isuzu FRR, the Mitsubishi FI, and of course the Hino FC500, which we have had on this show before.
Now, how much does it cost on the road?
Well, just the cab and chassis alone without the body is coming in at 4.25 million shillings. This, of course, is available at DT, Dobby, any of their facilities around the country.
Now, before we even move any further, who are the key players in this segment like you mentioned earlier?
Well, like I had said, this 9-ton segment, you're looking at, of course, the Isuzu FRR, the Mitsubishi FI, and the Hino FC500.
And remember, you can rely on DTW's extensive network across the country, from Mombasa, Kisumu, Eldoret. If you need to get this particular truck, please head out there, get the details, and of course, they'll give you a deal of a lifetime. So guys, do you reckon this particular mighty EX9 fits the bill as compared to the competition? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you with the feedback. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Cars with Big Boy Trev. As always, an honor and pleasure. But before we leave, how can you watch Cars with Big Boy Trev after the show?
Well, after the end of this show at 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel, this episode is going to be streaming live. You can catch it with your friends. You can watch it anytime later. We are also available on all social media handles. Look at us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can check our YouTube channel, which has all our episodes ranging all the way back from season 1, almost 80 different vehicles available for your viewing pleasure.
Well, signing out, this is Big Boy Trev.
This is Murigi. Drive safe
and be safe.